Hey, good evening. Let's talk, family. And this is one of our interviews that we've been wanting to do for a minute, but as they say, time and place always has to line up. And tonight we have a very talented young lady, Blue King.
Hello,
What's
hi.
going on?
Nothing much, just at home surrounded by snacks and books.
I mean, what else is there? What else is there to do? I know a lot of times you're writing and doing what you need to do. Um, So if you're not writing, you're not at a performance, what else could you do but relaxing and just chilling out?
Exactly. Well, I also go to school full time. I'm a student at University of Memphis, so I
Okay, let's
am
let's let's
also in
let's dis-
school.
let's discuss that. Like I told you before, from a prior show you were on, I have a friend. I have a very good friend down in Memphis, actually.
hmm
Explain to us who the Blue King is and everything.
Well, the Blue King is, mm, it is a name. I'm not gonna call it a persona because it's not like a whole separate personality. It is who I am, but I just have a name for it now. And the name came from a little phrase that I would say, like, I am more, playing off my last name, I am more than any queen, but not yet a pharaoh.
Mm,
So
mm.
I'm like, so my last name is more, so I like to like put that into my poetry and stuff as well.
So it kind of ever when you started using it, it stuck with you, and then it was catchy. Like, and then I would presume blue is one of your favorite colors.
It is. You still got the blue crown and
Yeah,
everything. Like I take it very seriously.
yeah. So you explained that you're originally from Kentucky, right?
No, I'm originally from Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Chattanooga. I knew it was. I apologize for that. I said Kentucky, thinking
You're
bluegrass
fine.
country, right?
Oh, no,
Um,
no, no.
so you're originally from Chattanooga. How did you make your way to Memphis? Like, what was that journey? Was it for school, some other stuff, or just
No, no. I'll tell like the medium sized version of it. I was living down in Chattanooga and I was actually getting ready to go to nursing school while I was down there. But my sister had called me. She called me one day and she was just in a panic, in a complete and total panic. And my sister's not the type of person that panics. She was a very, very calm, level headed individual. So she called me in a panic and she said, "You have to move here. You have to move to Memphis right now. You have to move to Memphis." Long story short, I wound up packing everything that I had, including the cat that I had at the time, into the backseat of my car, drove to Memphis, and never went back. Left all my furniture, left a whole apartment worth of stuff, and just moved and changed my whole life.
you just wow? Is your sister still in? Is your sister in Memphis still?
Yeah, she's
Oh,
here in Memphis, and she now has like a baby boy, and he's a wonderful. So like we're trying to move everybody else up here with us. So we trying to like stick around for a little bit.
so explain the difference in for a person that has never been to Tennessee, the difference between Chattanooga and Memphis.
Okay, Memphis is dangerous. Everything that they say about Memphis is very, very true. It is very, very dangerous here. Number one, but the food is amazing, and you're gonna meet people that you've never that hopefully will open your mind and change your mind to like how you view your own life because poverty is real here. People really be going through stuff here. People really genuinely be struggling here, and it helps you. At least for me, I learned to appreciate the life that I have like a lot more just by living in this city. Versus Chattanooga, it is like a tourist town. It's beautiful,
Okay.
mountains everywhere. It's a river going through it. It's like always like festivals and stuff going on down there. Everybody's genuinely friendly. Everybody actually wants to be nice to you. And Memphis, it's an experience to say the least.
But one of the things and how we met is between the poetry corner and
Yes.
Memphis is very. I think a lot of people like that's not from down that way hear Memphis and know that civil rights movement came through there, but they don't really understand the rich history of, you know, Ida B. Wells is originally from Memphis. Don't think she's from
Mhm.
Chicago, but she Memphis is her home, and I mean, a lot of artists has came through there. And being that you're a poet, did it feel like you fit right in with the rich history?
I, the thing is that I haven't been able to connect with the history as well as I had want as well as I thought that I would be able to. Memphis people are very to themselves when it comes down to it. And I haven't been exposed to like the poetry world like the way that I had thought that I would be. And but maybe it's only because it's only been like a couple months. But the
Hmm.
little bit that I have seen, it's beautiful, it's powerful, like the way that people use their words and just to express themselves, it's a beautiful and magical thing. Like it's I love it.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. So, what are you? What? Are you, well, I have. I'm gonna play one of your poems. I thought this was really. Um, I I got you really. Yeah, I got. It's funny because I captured this poem and I got you in a moment where you was being. You know, one thing I noticed about when I looked at your IG, I looked at some of your work was your poems and how you come across the authenticity of it. Like a lot of people will do a poem and then like, well, I don't like the way that came out. Let me do it two, three times. And I caught one where you just was like, check this one out. Yeah.
Superseding death herself. I've been to the other side. Darkness was all I saw. But this little light of mine, this heartbeat, raged through it all. Blue and white flames now dwell in my very soul. It fuels my steps to excellence. See, I have lived a life so tragic that my soul refuses to acknowledge the pain. I have been a witness to my own death so many times that the devil and God himself have taught me how to commune with their favorite angel the best.
That's one of them. You got another one coming up.
Stare her deep in her eyes.
Oh, that's
Search
all
for
the
the
same
soul that
one.
she has lost, they speak. Teach this darkness how to fight like a Marine. Teach this darkness how to endure like a woman. Show her what it takes to be Ashley.
Talk to me. Talk to me about that poem, superseding death. I think that speak to that. Speak to why you chose to write a poem about death.
Well, I wrote that poem. I actually literally just did like an informative speech about my poetry for class, like and turned it in last night. So it's real fresh in my head. But
Great.
the reason why I actually got into poetry and started poetry in all complete honesty and rawness is because I had a mental breakdown. Like I had a literal mental breakdown out here in these streets, running around, kicking doors in, doing all types of mess. And it wasn't until I landed myself into a psychiatric hospital where I learned about creative writing. So
Hmm.
that poem is about me seeing like the darkness of everything, like the darkness within my life, like everything that could have went wrong because it was just a whole year of pain and struggle, and it was because I didn't know how to handle my mental health. I didn't know how to take care of myself properly. So the poem speaks about how the devil and God both spoke to me. Like during that time, I saw, I was seeing like, it was like I was in warfare, like spiritual warfare. I had the devil at one end, all the demons saying, like, oh no, you one of us, you cool with us. And then the angels like, no, no, no. Come here, be with us, come to the light. And I'm just in the middle, like, I'm cool with everybody though. So in the poem, like I felt like I was learning how to commune with the spirits around me, learning how to deal with the chaos that was my life and learning how to cope with it in the best way it possibly could. So it wasn't like my literal death. Like I wasn't like literally out here like suicidal to that extent, but I was going through like personal things that felt like certain things were dying off my life, certain people were dying off my life because I was going through so much mental stuff. So that's what that poem means.
Wow. I mean, it's good that it's good that you could talk about it and be able to share it and understand that what you were going through is right, perfectly normal. We all go through a period of time where you kind of like you're going through that internal battle of the struggle of
Hmm.
just life, dealing with life, and so much moving parts going on that you really don't have
Right.
no. And I'm quite sure you learned that those things that you can't control, you can't control them. I mean, you can feel them, but you might not. You can't control them, so it's nothing you could really do about it. So I thought that poem was very interesting. So you started. This is what got you into poetry, like going through that breakdown.
Going through a mental breakdown, and I had transitioned, like actually I had transitioned from the military, and it was like my first year out of the Navy. So going from
Woo!
a completely structured and everything is planned out for you from the time that you wake up to I have this crazy husband and I'm just supposed to make my own plans for myself. It was awful. I did not handle any of the things well, like whatsoever. And during that time span, like I went through a divorce, I had lost a child, I landed in the hospital. It was a lot of things that happened within that 12-month time span that gave me, I guess, not necessarily, well, I guess content to write about because um the out of the 8 books that I had one of them that was stolen. That was like right there in the thick of all of that stuff that I was writing right in the thick of, and it was stolen from me, and I was just utterly heartbroken. It was like the worst thing in the world, but
I mean, you're like a interview dream because you kind of like seg me into my next question about authorship. Well, talk to me about
yeah,
authorship. Eight books.
yeah, like all
So
my journals
somebody
and
was doing
such.
a lot of writing.
I was like, let me show you. I got them. Oh, so I have all these that I've
Wow.
written, and some of them are books about lessons learned. Some of them are books about just experiences that I've had in life. Some of them are like literal, like just regular journals. Some of them are poetry books. Like I just write. I write for whatever reasons whatever inspires me, whatever conversations inspire me, whatever people inspire me, events inspire me, just the beauty of the world, non-conventional beauty inspires me. So I just jot it on down
You
and
know, one of the things with being an artist is I'm a avid writer, excuse me. I'm an avid reader. I read
mm,
a lot, and I've been exposed to you guys' world, the poetry world, through my cousin in the poetry corner. Met a lot of dope poets, as well as yourself. And one of the things that I noticed is that you guys, I don't think a lot of people understand that you guys are artists. You
mm-hmm.
guys are creators, and I could tell from your energy and you just writing and being a student of life, as I would say, being able
Yes.
to express that and write what you see, write how you feel. That's not. I can't do that. I could read it, but I probably wouldn't be able to write it.
Yeah.
That's a
It-
gift that I think that. Did you ever think about being a published author?
yes, I actually in this book, this book, this book I plan on publishing fully and completely. I just haven't typed it. Just I just haven't typed it up because everything that I do is handwritten. Like I don't really like being on my phone and like typing up a poem on my phone. It doesn't on my phone. It doesn't feel like it's authentic. It doesn't feel like
Blue, they got all types of stuff. All you gotta do is say it and type the words for you now. They got all types of programs. Definitely on Google. All you gotta
you're
do is
right.
just say it and Google will type it out for you. Correct your spelling and everything.
I might need to find something like that. And then also with my schedule being so full, like I'm in school full time, so I probably just haven't like plucked at the time to actually get it. everything writing together like I need to. So maybe this is
So
the
so you
fire
were
that
in
needs
the
to
so
be
you were in
lit.
the Navy. You went took that trip to Chicago,
Yes, I did. Yes,
and
I
how long did you
did.
serve?
Not very long. I was only in for about 2.5 years, and I got discharged on a medical discharge. And when I got out, it was I I regretted the decision like literally a week later.
Well,
But
I'll just tell you, even though it was 2.5 years, thank you, and we appreciate you for your service.
thank
Whether
you.
it was a day, that's a lot. That's more than I've done, and that's a lot to willingly say that you're ready to defend people that can't defend themselves. Whether it's like I said, however long you stayed. So you regretted leaving?
I did because I was about to go see the world, and I had came home to this husband of mine, and we were just chaos. Like we were just. I mean, that's just the definition of our relationship. It was just chaos, and I came home and I was like, I should have stayed put in the ranks. Like I should have stayed in somebody's ranks. I should have stayed in somebody's barracks. I should have just stayed in a boat. Like I should have just did all those things. But
Well, that's an unfortunate situation, and sometimes because you were away, um, you guys probably got along, and then when you came home, it was like, ugh, now we got to get used
I
to knowing each other all over again. And you
right.
were so routine, everything was disciplined, everything was like you said, having that structure um can be quite a culture shock again for you.
It was. It went from in the military, they treat you like you're a weed versus being a civilian, everybody is a pretty little flower. So like that shock, I'm like, wait, I'm special now? Like like y'all supposed to care about me now? Like, oh my gosh, people want to know what's going on with me. So it was a huge shock transitioning over from being cussed out every single day, all day, to just oh, I'm making my own decisions. Like I don't gotta deal with this. I didn't realize that I had got so accustomed to like the abuse, like the utter, like the ugh, just I can't imagine going back to it now.
Yeah.
But then like I was really accustomed to it. Like I was a real rough girl out here in these streets. Like I was real tough, and
You know,
the
it's
Navy had
it's
made me that
it's,
way.
it's, it's crazy because I can identify to that experience a little bit. Not the Navy, but you basically learned to shut off emotion. And when you came back to society, you had to feel, smell, touch, and think again. And it was like,
Everything.
hold up, I ain't used to this. Like, I'm
It was like
rigid.
it was like
I,
sensory overload. Sensory overload was too much.
well, I got one more poem. I want to know who this poem to, because this poem,
Come to me, search, look hard and long, find me, please. I've been searching for you for so long. Look harder. I know you are near. I can feel it, but I can't see you. Here, I wish I could meet me through your eyes. Peace. What do you see when you look at me? When you look into me? Us? Eyes so dark we can only stand to examine each other from a distance. Only smells can be absorbed this close up. Perfection. Touch is felt hours and days later.
that
I
poem
had
is
to take a
titled
smoke
Letters
on
to
that
the
one.
that poem is titled Letters to the King. The Queen was
Ah,
writing a letter to the king.
this is before my crown grew and I became who I am now.
that I don't know your personal life. I'm just joking around. But now the queen is on her throne by herself. It don't have to be no king. There ain't no letters going on. But
I just that's what it was
I missed
about. Like it's a
the first clip of it. You were laughing when you first started the poem. and I kind of didn't missed up on the part. But I really appreciated that poem. I thought that poem was nice. Explain, the mindset and your thoughts going into that.
Oh, the person that I wrote that poem about, my goodness. I was speaking to a specific person, and during this time, that guy took me through it, like, and I'm not gonna say how I met him. I'm not even gonna say this. It's tragic, but the guy, he would emotionally mess with me, just like screw up my head and screw up my emotions like all the time. And he would say we would have like 4 hour long conversations about everything, and he would say these poetic, beautiful things to me, but he would say it without using like so many words. Like, and then when I was around him, it was like all body language. Like he was like super minimal in his vocabulary and his vernacular when he spoke to me. So basically, that poem was a conversation between me and him. Like the short answers that he would give to me with the questions that I would ask him.
Hmm.
And needless to say, at the end, it didn't work out, but I'm grateful for the experience. I'm grateful that I pulled something beautiful out of all that chaos.
Nicole wasn't here. She didn't see the beginning. Blue. She asked how you got your name again.
I actually wrote, if you don't mind, I actually wrote a poem about
Okay.
the name, the
Okay.
Blue King.
Okay.
And I just wrote this like 2 days ago, and it just came to me on the file when I was in the car, and I was like, oh, I gotta write this down right now. So this poem is for you, Nicole, so you can know who I am. And it is called Who is the Blue King? Welcome to my little world, filled with all my dreams and accomplishments. For I am the Blue King. Insanity taught me, pain strengthened me, and blessings followed me. I am the Blue King, meaning I am as gentle as I am strong. I am the Blue King, meaning I move as I please, no escort needed. I am the Blue King, meaning I walk with my fully adorned crown held high and with my chest out. I am the Blue King, meaning I am loyal and truthful to self first. I am the Blue King, meaning I am more than any queen, but in training to be a pharaoh.
Okay. Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Snap. Snap. Wow. It's going back to your letters to the king, right? Not to like I said to ask no questions that definitely you don't feel like answering and definitely bring up
I'm
bad
an open
memories.
book. I'm
But
an open
but
book.
when you look back at poems like that and then you say, damn, it's out in the universe. He had my poem on the show and he read and I heard it and it's like I'm so much a different person now than I was when I wrote it. Explain that experience when you look back at it now.
So I like to see these nifty little journals of mine as like time capsules. And they're like time capsules back to a time where I can see where I was emotionally, where I was mentally, who I was entangled with, like all of those things. So it's like it's a bit like nostalgic for me, like getting to look back, like wow, like you really went through a lot of unnecessary stuff. Like, but I'm grateful for all of it because I'm like, that's what your 20s are made out of. Your 20s are supposed to be your chaos. Like, it's supposed to be utter chaos and noise.
And trying to figure life out.
Right. And my 20s, if I could describe it with like at least with this first book that I wrote, it was very colorful. It was very bright. It was very noisy. And I'm grateful for all the experiences that I went through in writing this, from the poems that my ex-husband has wrote about me, from the poems that I wrote about my sisters, the poems like Oh my goodness. Like just being able to look at this, like it touches me to be able to see like how far I've come and how far I've grown and how much I've matured as a woman and how I've matured as a writer and a poet.
So
So
let me ask you a question that I don't always ask people this, but I'm gonna put you on the spot with one of my questions.
okay.
Poetry in your left hand, pineapples in your right hand.
Oh, I gotta choose.
You got to choose one.
I would choose the poetry because I can always write about my love and yearning for pineapples and it'll be beautiful.
Explain that because I think that when the first time you came on the poetry corner, you said you was like, "I love pineapples," and I'm like, you threw me off, and then I started following you on social media, and I'm like, "Yo, she really loves pineapples. This is something. This is who you are. This is part of what you
It
who you are."
is.
Ex-
Like I love pineapples.
explain that. What happened with that? Like that's a childhood thing, or just
It kind of just started one day. Like I just kind of woke up and I'm like, yeah, like I really like that fruit. And then I started doing like research on it, like meaning like in Hawaii, the pineapple represents welcome. It represents warmth. It represents home. And I started like applying that to myself. I'm like, I want my own spirit to feel welcoming, to feel like a home to somebody. And it just stuck with me. And then like I have this wonderful crown that looks like a pineapple that sticks up all over the place. And I'm like, I'm yellow like a pineapple. I am the pineapple. I
very
am.
one of the most healthiest things anybody could eat too.
It's just
Pineapple is
I don't eat them as much as people think that I
really
do. I actually prefer eating watermelon over pineapples.
well.
I'll eat them both. Don't worry about it. But I'll eat watermelon more than
That's just as
pineapple.
good. Now, full time college student at the University of Memphis.
Yes, I am.
Wow. Explain that experience. You got a major already, or you didn't have to?
Supply chain management is my major. Um, my goal is to open up a warehouse, two warehouses one day. I want to open up a warehouse either here in Memphis or in Arkansas, and I want to open up a second, larger warehouse in Seattle, Washington. So Seattle's my favorite city. It is my favorite city in the whole entire world. I've traveled all over the place. Ooh, excuse me. I've traveled all over the place, but Seattle brings me the most like calm. It just calms my spirit being there. So I'm like, I
What
have to live
I'm gonna
there.
ask you is it because typically the Seattle because it's the Pacific Northwest laid back? Is that it?
It is. And then the forest, I love nature. I love how wet it is out there and how green it is. I love like trees and nature. And it's like so many hiking spots that you can go to, like the mountains all over the place and the culture there. Like the culture is so beautiful. The people are so friendly. I don't know if it's because they're like high on weed all the time or if they're just genuinely friendly people. But either way, I love it. I'm here for it. But I love like the Native American culture that's out there. It's like the reservations. I got a chance to go and visit one of the reservations when I was out there, and it was one of the most beautiful things I think I've ever seen in my life. And
I'm gonna
I've
ask you,
seen some pretty
was
beautiful
that your
things.
primary reason for going into the Navy? You wanted to explore the world?
I did. I am a traveler. I've backpacked across Europe. I have been all across like the US. Like my next trip, I plan on taking a cruise. I've never taken a cruise anywhere. So I want to take a cruise somewhere. And the next international trip will be hopefully to either Spain or Africa.
So
So
yeah, so that cruise would be the first time on the boat since you was listed.
right, right. And I'm like, yo, I get to like just chill. Like I don't have to do no work. Like people are gonna be serving me.
Wow. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, you ain't working. You enjoying yourself. I know that's probably an experience. I mean, and then like you enjoy traveling. I
I
know you
do.
probably be like, man, I shouldn't have left the Navy, but I had to leave. Did it come deal with you civilians and just
I do more traveling now as a civilian than I ever did while I was in the military.
oh, okay.
And I get to travel in the way that I want. versus like in the military you have like rules and stipulations and you can only go here, you can only go there, you can do I can go wherever I want. I can do whatever I want and I can be as free as I want and I enjoy it. And it's and like I've learned from traveling, it's not as expensive to travel as people make it seem like it is. Like you can get a really, really good trip for like under $1,500. Like you
Yeah.
can a round trip somewhere international at that.
I'm
And
gonna ask you. I'm gonna ask you as a person that likes nature, and you basically the way that Tennessee is located is basically the middle of the country. A lot of people may
right,
not realize it. Nashville, I know is like the truckers' hub. So I know Memphis is not too far; it's a couple hours away. So
right, like three, I think.
would you prefer driving if was in an RV? Would you just drive across the country and just enjoy nature, or you'll fly to your destination?
I want to do both. I want to do both. Like, and I plan on doing both. Like, I want to do the RV thing when once I get my warehouses established, and once I'm making me a cool meal like a month, and got my money good going with the warehouse and logistics company, and then I'm gonna buy me an RV. Give me a double decker, nice RV, and a driver because I can't drive. So get a driver. And I'm just gonna hit everywhere. I'm gonna go everywhere. Me, my sister, my nephew, we just gonna hit the country, just go all over the place, and
Yeah,
it's gonna be
I
a
noticed
ball.
I noticed that when you said two warehouses, you used a lot of strategy in where they would be placed.
Right.
Pacific Northwest and Arkansas. Arkansas is a very interesting place. You must have been there before.
Well, Mississippi. Well, where I am in Memphis, I'm probably like across the bridge, like 20 minutes away from Arkansas. Like it's right there,
Yeah,
and the industry that I was planning on getting in, I was planning on I'm probably gonna wind up changing, but I was gonna get into either the THC and tobacco industry or probably do something completely. But weed is legal in Arkansas. Like I can open a warehouse up there and get merchandise, get products, get all types of stuff going on up
yeah.
there versus down here in Memphis where it's not fully legal. At least CBD I can do something with versus in Seattle it's completely legal. And then you have the seaports. I'm like, yo, like I have to have like the seaport so because like my business, I want to have boats, I want to have trains, I want to have planes, I want to have trucks, I want to have it all because I want to make $1 million a month, and I know that I can do that. So I want to I just got to go to school and meet the right people and network at this point because I have a plan. It's just
Yeah,
getting it
and then
all in motion.
even you understand the access to with having the strategic areas in these cities is having a hub, having like you said, access to the seas, access to airplanes, and because you go some places they don't even have airports within 200
Right.
miles, and you want to be in those areas where you easy access to your warehouses. Well, that's interesting. And it sounds really exciting, and you come off explaining your vision. I always say that if you have a dream, if you don't believe in your dream, how is other people gonna be believing in it? You know what I mean? Like
Exactly.
people be
Exactly.
people be saying, okay, I got dreams, I got things I want to do, and they don't have no enthusiasm behind it. They don't even try to sell it. And it's like, I know that you're real enthused about it. So
I am.
I need a deadline on this book. We going the next time you come on this show, now you'll be on the poetry corner again, hopefully
Yeah.
soon. But the next time you come on this show, this gonna be your book release show. Like, yo, it's coming out this week. You got to make a
How about the
deadline.
next time I come, I will have the book at least typed out with like a manuscript ready. How about that?
Yeah,
I gotta do that. I can do a manuscript.
I
I have that
mean, I'm
ready.
I'm quite sure you on the computer a lot, messing around with school.
Well, I am now, but I'm not as technologically like intelligent as most. Saying,
You get you one of
uh,
these. I'm telling you, they got them little pocket recorders, and
yeah.
you could just be in the middle, just whip your recorder out and just start talking to your recorder, and then play back what you're saying. Next thing you know, you got chapter one done in your introduction, and then most of your book is gonna be your poetry.
Mhm. I
And
just need to find. I don't know how to do like the publishing portion either. Like, how do I find a publisher? How do I find like I know who's gonna do the art. for the book,
I
so
know
I'm a ways
somebody.
away from
I
that.
know somebody. I got you.
You know a publisher?
I know somebody. I
Okay.
got you.
Okay, that's
That's what we
good
gonna
because
work on.
I'm lost in that.
That's what we gonna work. Well, Blue, is there anything else that you'd like to discuss and tell us about the Blue King?
Well, I definitely want everybody to follow me on Linktree or follow me on my Linktree. It is forward or
Yo, it's
backslash
crazy because
V.
I found you quicker, which was interesting because we was friends on Facebook, but I found you quicker on TikTok than Instagram, and that
Yeah.
was weird because I had lost my TikTok account and I had to get a new one, so I'm looking for people and I'm like, oh, you popped up. I'm like, oh, that's perfect. That was perfect.
Yes,
Perfect timing.
yes. Because I work
Perfect
the
timing.
hardest on my TikTok account. Like that is the most to get the views on there. Like it's
Well,
so hard.
you know what's funny is that one thing about the views and a lot of people don't understand is that you just really I'm not the master of none of this stuff. I only follow people that have bigger channels, bigger viewership. All you gotta do is just get somebody to like your stuff. One person. If I'm looking at your TikTok, I know you. All I gotta do is watch it and press like. How hard is that? That's not hard. It's not you're not bending my wrist. And that allows you, the algorithms, as we always say, to trigger and it allows you to continue and grow and get seen. I mean, I think that should be easy for all of us to do. But for some of us, it's kind of hard. So
Right. Like I have like a person on that page now who she's only been on TikTok for like 3 months and she has like 10,000 followers. I'm like, how do you do? I post like every day. Just but thank you
well
for your support. I
well
appreciate you.
the craziest thing, Blue, is that TikTok is a little different than the other things like YouTube and Facebook. And I'll explain to you about TikTok. I know a little bit about more about TikTok
Please explain to me
than
because
the other
I'm
ones.
still relatively new to the whole process.
Well, Blue, stay on. We're gonna
hmm
close out and I'm gonna talk to you about some other things and really appreciate you coming on, really appreciate your time. I know that you're an hour behind me, so
Yes.
you know, like I said, I really appreciate it and really thanks for joining us tonight.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me. I appreciate the opportunity.
Anytime. The Poetry Corner.